Hey everyone, hope you're all safe and well and doing good. So today's vlog is going to be something slightly different for me. Obviously I'm going to be going to the Lego store, and today's one, well, normally speaking, on a Sunday, I'd probably drive over to Bluewater and get some Lego sets over there. But today I'm actually going to go into central London and get myself over to Leicester Square. Now you might be thinking, what on earth are you doing that on a Sunday for, Greg? Well, really the main reason being is I want to get this gift with purchase is of course the vintage taxi. Now this particular gift with purchase is causing all sorts of kind of controversy in and around the Lego community. One being that a lot of people kind of feel, and it was kind of suggested, that it might come as a gift with purchase with the Boutique Hotel, which was obviously the brand new modular for 2022 that should have come out on January the 1st with the modular. So the modular is fantastic, and I think, in all honesty, I think the vintage taxi would have actually kind of complemented it quite well. That said, that side, it didn't actually come with it. So anyway, so forget about that altogether. And in my opinion anyway, I think it looks better outside the Parisian restaurant or something like that. But let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. But anyway, the big controversy for me, as far as I'm concerned, like all these things with Lego, it generally comes down to the cost of the blooming thing. I mean, for example, right, here's the thing. Lego has come out and said, especially when it comes to like pad walls and things like that, is that they kind of want to harmonise the actual costing and the pricing of their bricks globally. Well, if that's the case then, tell me why, Lego, why are we having to pay a £200 threshold for it here in the United Kingdom? Because my good friends over in Australia, their threshold for actually getting that as a gift with purchase is 270 Australian dollars. Now that equates to pretty much roughly 145 pounds sterling, which is like, hello, that's 50 pounds different. That is a much, much bigger threshold to go for. So you're probably thinking, well, Greg, if that's so expensive, why on earth are you going to go out and buy something or some things and get yourself this taxi? Well, one, I actually really want the taxi, and I don't necessarily want to go out and buy it on eBay. That said though, the prices on eBay are actually not too bad. But I am actually quite lucky in the sense that I have got a few sets. I don't know if I'm lucky or unlucky really. Depends how you look at it. But anyway, I've got a couple of sets that I do want to get that are kind of quite close to that particular threshold. One being the Lego Batwing, which is a set that apparently is actually going to retire this year. And it's kind of a set that I've always wanted. And obviously it doesn't go with a city or anything like that. But that said, down in my cabin, I think it will look absolutely amazing, kind of pinned up onto the wall. So that's one reason I want to get that, and that's about £180. Now the other one as well is, again, another Lego Batman set. That's the Tumbler, and that comes in at around £200, and that's bang on exactly the threshold for actually being able to get that vintage taxi. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, they're two really good sets, but the big set, one of the best sets that I think of 2022, and I never thought I'd hear myself say this, is a Monkey Kids set. That is, of course, the City of Fountains, and I really want that set. I think it's awesome. I think it's like a sort of a kind of a, people hate me for saying this, they really will, especially if you're a Monkey Kid fan. It's kind of like a mini Ninjago city. I thought there's a few bits and pieces on it as well, especially the rail line that goes around there, that I actually think is actually quite an improvement upon it. So I really like that set. But that set, I mean, again, it's a really weird thing to say, it's only £115. So that means I've kind of got this deficit of sort of £85 that I've got to fill to get it. Now, some other things that I do want to get, of course, I'm going to be hitting the pad wall. So boom, I'm going to be taking my jugs with me, fully armed and loaded, up there on the pad wall to get some bits and pieces, and I certainly want to get some 8x8s because I want to start creating some bills plates for my city as well. But another reason that I actually do want to get this vintage taxi is that it's a little bit special, and it's something that I think, again, will go really well with this set. And this particular set, this Lego Ideas set, I think it came out, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, something like that. And this really does complement, in my opinion anyway, the Dino modular, which is, again, another set I really want to build quite soon. So I think this will go really well with this. And like I said, I think the vintage taxi will go really, really well with the Parisian restaurant. So it's a big thing, isn't it? It's kind of like the collector in me does want to get it, but also on the other side of me, practically speaking, it's really expensive. The outlay for it is really expensive. And it's a bit like, in some respects, I suppose, when you think about it, it's a bit like getting, the Lego Star Wars AT-AT and getting it because you especially want to get that lightsaber that come with it, again, as a gift with purchase. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I'm aware, those gift with purchases, the lightsaber, you can still actually get if you bought the AT-AT today, which of course, like, you know, we're practically at the end of January 2022 already. Blimey, where did that month go? So anyway, so I'm going to be going today to the Lego store, and then I'm going to be hopefully grabbing the vintage taxi or whatever Lego set I kind of decide to get, then coming home, and then I'm going to do a live stream later on tonight. And really, after that, I'll kind of know the big question of this whole vlog. Was the £200 threshold worth it?
So this is clever here. We've got a cross section of the boutique hotel just using a load of 2x2 trans clear bricks. It's quite nicely done. But you see, what's more telling is this, the gift we purchase. Now, anyone would think that this gift we purchase was actually meant to come with the boutique hotel, but let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Now there's a set that I'd actually forgotten about. But looking at it, I've got to be honest, it's really just sort of a displayable set or something like that. And I don't know, the buildable figures in it, or the buildable characters, I think they look all right. They're a bit sort of creative 3-in-1 for my liking. I will say this, the actual Sonic the Hedgehog minifigure himself, I think he looks really, really good. So over here we've got some new Ninjago sets. This is one that I really like, Jay and Nia's race car. I think this looks really good, and I really, really like this helicopter here as well, and I think the blue car is absolutely awesome. Also mixed in with all the Ninjago sets as well, we've got some of the Monkey Kid ones. Let's take a look at this one, Evil Backers Mech. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I do love a mech, and that one looks particularly good. If it's anything like the Monkey Kid Warrior Mech, that'll be a really good build. Here we've got kind of a smaller one. This one really reminds me of the Iron Man mech that came out last year. I think it's just the same one there. Here we've got some smaller mechs as well. I will say that though, you get a Lloyd, you get a pretty decent couple of minifigs with this one. And then down here, you get this one, Nisa's Fire Ring. I think that is a really, really clever looking vehicle. But then back to Ninjago, and we get ourselves this, the Ninja Ultra Combo Mech. Yeah, this is pretty damn good actually. I think the reviews for this have actually been pretty good too. There we go. I don't know, there's just something very Voltron and, I don't know, Optimus Prime about it. I think it's got a pretty decent presence about it, but if anyone's actually bought this or built it, let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to know if you think I should get out there and buy this as well. So up on the top then of the Lego store, we've got ourselves some serious amounts of Monkey Kid. In fact, we've got a pretty decent stand full of oozing loads of Monkey Kid sets as well. There's the Warrior mech, that's what I was talking about just down there. And even looking at it again, it really does look like the Iron Man mech that came out last year. Brilliant. Look at the size of them. These are real proper mechs. And talking of real proper sets, look at this. Now this is one set I'm definitely considering getting. I really, really, really want this. I love the kind of monorail or roller coaster track that they've got going on there. I want to know exactly what people are calling this. Some people call it roller coaster, some people call it monorail. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But look, we've got City of Lanterns here. We've got the Lego store up here. I'm loving that. We've got the dragon there. And look, there he is just over there. You can see these various bits and pieces about him. But just through there, you can definitely see him. I'm just loving it. All the noodles, all the Monkey King references as well. We've got some really good figures in this as well, including Pigsy, the Monkey Kid, Mr. Tang and May as well. Yeah, this is a really, really cool set. I love it. Look, the Lotus Hotel. I used to live near a a Lotus hotel when I lived over in the Docklands back in the day. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the sets of 2022. I think that's a pretty easy prediction, to be honest, but I just think it all looks great. The lobster over here, absolutely brilliant. So I'm over here at the Batman section. They seem to have an abundance of tumblers. The tumbler does look good, doesn't it? Look at that there, look at those minifigures. Is that not one of the best Jokers ever? I'm not sure that's the right Batman, actually. I'm pretty sure that's the wrong Batman. I think it's the Michael Keaton one that's meant to be there. Anyway, we've got the new Batmobile over here, or rather the 2022 version of the Batmobile. We've got that tumbler here as well, the smaller version of it. And there's the big one. The thing I'm kind of a little bit stressy about is I can't find any Batwings. So anyway, that was a pretty decent shot. Now, I wouldn't say it necessarily went exactly the way I thought it was going to go. I picked up some pretty good stuff. I got myself the taxi as well. So all I've got to do now is get back across London, show you guys what I got, then get ready for a live stream.
To spare just before I go off and do my live stream. So anyway, straight off the bat, I will say this. The one thing, my kind of top Lego set that I wanted to get when I was in there was the Lego Batwing. They didn't even have one. In fact, he actually told me, the guy when I asked him, he said, yeah, they sold out yesterday. They had one left. So it really is a kind of hard to find set. And with that, I was kind of like, oh no, you know when you kind of pin your hopes on a particular set that you wanted. And then of course there was the tumbler, and that was kind of like roughly my second choice. And you know what, I really wanted it. I mean, it does look fantastic, especially with those rear wheels on the back. I mean, it looks amazing, it really does, and those minifigures. Though, looking back at that Batman, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the right one that's meant to be there. But anyway, I'll have to have a look back at Brick Set or something like that and just double check on that, but I'm pretty certain I'm right. So anyway, I don't know, I looked at the tumbler and I thought to myself, well, do you know what? That set from time to time, even though it hasn't been out particularly long, it does actually discount. I remember around Black Friday time, it was discounted. I'm sure it was around sort of £50 off, which is a huge amount of money to have off a Lego set. It really is. And that's kind of like, you know, well, it's 25% off. So I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I'm going to kind of save that one for another day. So what did I get then? Well, I kind of went a little bit different, a little slightly off-piste to what I was thinking I was going to get. But the main one that I got, the kind of the biggest set from this particular Lego haul, is this one, and it's a stonker. It really is, folks. There it is. The City of Lanterns. It's amazing. It really is. In fact, in person, it actually looks so much better than the actual pictures, but I love it. I really do. I just love the fact that you can't get away from it. It really is like Ninjago City. It really is. Even though I've kind of got it, but I've not built it yet. I might actually build this first before I build those ones. This is kind of like a kind of ease me into actually building it or something like that. But you know what it was? I love the shot that's up here. I just love all these kind of little references that's around here as well. And also as well, you've got this rail system. And I think that is so cool. I mean, I just love anything like that. Over the course of this weekend, I've built the Hogwarts Express and it is absolutely beautiful. And I think I might have a thing for trains, I really do. So anyway, if you fancy watching that live stream back, check out the description below. You'll see that on the Transatlantic Lego live stream from last weekend. So anyway, this set comes with an absolute abundance of minifigures. And I have to say, I do like Pigsy. I've always been a bit of a Pigsy fan. But I also like May as well. I think May is pretty damn cool. Let's have a look around on the back of this. So it's kind of like a whole bunch of kind of like, you know, I was going to say vignettes, but it's not really vignettes, but obviously it's kind of like part of the structure, the buildings, and you've got these kind of different rooms there as well. And I'm kind of really interested to see if people out there have actually done some sort of rebrickable thing or something like that, where they've actually modularized it or anything like that. And of course, we've got our very own modularizer in the form of Nicole now. So I'm going to be probably asking her how she would do it as well. But of course, keeping the rail system going as well. Look, you've got a piece of rail system going over there to kind of acting as some sort of hood or something like that. But anyway, so the set, it actually cost about £115, which when you consider it comes with 2,187 pieces. Again, I never thought I'd ever say this, but that's actually pretty damn reasonable as it happens. So I do wonder, and I always think that a lot of people overlook Monkey Kid, but that's because, of course, you can't actually buy it notoriously from most shops in the UK. I mean, I know there's two for sure that absolutely do sell them, but most of the time, if you do want a Monkey Kid set, you're gonna have to get it online, and quite often you wouldn't be looking for that necessarily anyway. But anyway, I love the fact that it comes with this great construction of a city. It's like a sort of mini city in itself. Of course, it comes with an abundance of lanterns. You've got all these minifigures here as well. And I think that's a pretty good start. So anyway, so that was £115 worth, which of course gives me a deficit of another £85. So I was having a look around and I kind of thought to myself, well, what do I want to get? I kind of looked at the Star Wars, some of the Star Wars ships, and they were actually a little bit more expensive than what I thought they were going to be. The Moff Gideon one, for example, I think that was, off the top of my head, £139. And I was just like, I was a bit surprised by that actually, but then I suppose that maybe it's because it's got the kind of the Star Wars tax on it, that it was that little bit more expensive. So I was kind of looking around and I came across a set and I was like, yes, that's the one. And it's this one. Here we go. Winnie the Pooh. How cool is this? Now, I didn't actually pick this set up last year, and I know a few people, I say Tech, Thomas from over at Tech Productions, he picked it up, and everyone I know that's built this set absolutely loves it. Now, I was never actually really particularly into Winnie the Pooh or anything like that when I was a kid, but I can definitely kind of see the appeal of it. And I do like the story. It's kind of quite cute, really, especially Pixie. It's kind of like one of those characters you want to sort of take under your arm or something like that, under your wing and look after them. But I will say this, one of my personal favourite minifigures that came out last year in 2021 is this guy here, Tigger. He is awesome, he really is. But I think one of the standout minifigures, and of course some people might kind of sort of say, that's not really a real minifigure, is this guy, Eeyore. I think he's awesome, I really do, he's brilliant. I love the whole set. And this, of course, would actually quite nicely fit into a city if there's a kind of a very kind of forest or a woods sort of area or something like that, or just, I don't know, maybe a tree and a hut or something like that next to a bit of rail track or something like that. But here, let me show you around the back as well. There you go. You got the infamous Winnie the Pooh. And of course, for the money, and this set being £90, it just took me over that threshold, which was awesome. It really is. And it's not bad because it comes with about, I think it's 1,265 pieces. And I think, again, that's quite good value for the money, really. It's got over there 100 acre woods, which is awesome, which is his address, which is kind of cool, isn't it? So anyway, I got that and I just thought, you know what? This is a really nice set to build over the course of a weekend or something like quite a kind of relaxed, chill build or something like that. So you never know, I might do a live stream of that one day soon. So that was that. So that then meant I hit the £200 or just over the £200, which then of course meant I could get this, which is kind of the whole reason of doing this particular video, I guess, because it's set 40532 and it's the vintage taxi and it comes with 163 pieces. Now, the cool thing about this is it actually looks really good. And of course, I've seen it already because you guys would have seen it by now as well, having seen it when I was kind of looking around the Lego store. But it really was interesting that they kind of put it next to the boutique hotel, and it kind of goes with the boutique hotel. But I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like next door to the Parisian restaurant. And you know what, if you want to see what that does look like next to the Parisian restaurant, check out my Instagram, folks, because as soon as I've built this in about 2 hours time, I'm going to take a photograph of it next to that particular modular. But it's a nice looking set, it's nicely boxed. You have to excuse the sun there, kind of exposing it out a little bit. But you know what, for a free set, it looks kind of quite nice. So, of course, I went to the Lego store, and it would be remiss of me not to have actually gone to the Lego store without actually visited the pad wall. Now, of course, I took my own jug in there as well with me, because that way you save 75p, which is kind of, you need to do that these days, folks, because over here in the UK, we've just had a 25% hike in the cost of actually filling up your jugs and cups, which I think, in all honesty, personally speaking, doesn't particularly sit well with me. I think 25% is way too high. 5-10%, yeah, that's fine, Lego. We'll go with inflation, but not 25%, come on. But anyway, what did I get? So I got myself these kind of, I don't know, they're kind of Lego ice cream pieces, but I'm probably gonna be using them on a grapevine or something like that. Then you've got these other pieces here as well, and they are kind of used, generally speaking, for modulars, or maybe even for busts or something like that, because you can put like a Lego minifigure head on them as well. It looks pretty cool as well if you've got like the same colour hat or something like that for it. And then of course I got a load of these 1x6 bricks as well in sandy green, or sand green as I really should call it. I think they're pretty cool. I bought loads of them before, so I think they'll go with it particularly well. And I got a load of 1x2s in the past as well. I also got these as well. This is the 2x2 bricks there, which are going to be just kind of useful, really. They're dark bluish grey, so they're kind of handy for any sort of Star Wars mocks or anything like that, or buildings. But in all honesty, I got them for actually doing my meals plates as well, on my city. So that's pretty much everything I got. In fact, it is everything I got. I'm really, really chuffed I got the monkey kits out. I mean, there was actually only about 3 of those left, and there was quite a few people around at the time as well, especially around the monkey kit area. But I will say this about the shop, it was absolutely rammed in there. It really, really was. You could tell it was a nice day out in London. All the families were out, and it was really, really nice to see. You know, kind of seeing London buzzing again. It was a really nice thing to see. It was a real particular pain in the backside to actually film in there. But anyway, I think I got away and got some good footage from that. So anyway, so what I'm going to be doing next then is, in a couple of hours, like I said, I'm going to actually be doing a live stream. I'm going to be building the vintage taxi, and then I'm going to come back here and kind of give you my thoughts and feelings on, did I think it was actually worth the £200 threshold? So I've just finished my London Eye Street then, which is a really cool stream. I really enjoy doing them on a Sunday night because it's just a nice way of seeing the weekend out. So what did I think, firstly, of the taxi? Well, it was actually quite a quick build. It's only 163 pieces. In fact, it was so quick, I ended up actually building something kind of like for like as a good comparison after it as well, which was the kind of 1950s kind of vintage car as well, which was a Lego idea set that came out in 2021, which was set 40448, and that was a really good one to compare it to. And it turns out, after asking people in the chat what's the threshold for that particular set, it was £85. Now, considering that was only came out last year, that's £115 difference. So there's a big difference between those two thresholds. And I just wanted to kind of build it and kind of get people kind of thinking about that particular threshold as well. And also as well, I'll be interested to know how you feel about that as well, because this new threshold for this particular set is massive in compared to that one. I'm interested to know why that is the case. But anyway, parking the kind of 50s diner retro car to one side, what do I think about the taxi? Okay, so as a set on its own, and judging it just how it is, I mean, it's a great little set, it really is. The box art is really nice. It kind of oozes, good quality and everything like that. It's definitely not one of those kind of yellow and red rushed boxes that have popped out there as well. This is kind of a real proper Lego set. Actually, the build of it was actually really good. There was some really nice techniques as well. It's a great choice of colours. I mean, black and yellow, I kind of in my head, I'm kind of imagining it could be like driving around in some giant bumblebee or something like that. But as it turns out, the car itself looks bloody awesome. It really does. I mean, it's lovely and slick. It's kind of like oozes class. It really does. And, you know, and it's really lovely and quite curvaceous at the same time, which is kind of really hard to do when you consider, you know, the shape of Lego bricks, of course. And then, of course, you've got the kind of retro grille on the front of it as well. And that kind of really sets it off well, especially with the kind of the two sets of headlights that are actually on that set. It makes it look really classy. It really, really does. And also as well, it kind of has that kind of Rolls Royce kind of feel about it, but I think it's kind of more designed to be a little bit more citrony or something like that. Now, what I will say as well is the actual minifigure you get with it is pretty cool as well. And it just really does look the part. So the set on itself, I think personally, is worth something between, I don't know, maybe 15 to 25 pounds. I think that would be a kind of a reasonable thing, or reasonable price to actually pay for it. Now, when I was talking to people in the chat tonight about the threshold, they kind of felt as though a good threshold for them would be roughly around £150. Some people said 120. I think that's a bit too low in this day and age. And some people were saying about 180. And I kind of felt that was a bit too high. But the ball point was 150. Everyone kind of felt that that was a fairly reasonable point to pay for it. But of course, it is a gift with purchase. So the way I see it, unless you are actually going out to buy £200 worth of Lego, then please, I wouldn't really suggest you go out and actually pay £200 worth of Lego just to get this, because I think you might be a little bit disappointed on that. In fact, if anything, you're better off going to the aftermarket and looking at eBay and looking at their prices as well. So I did that earlier on today, and roughly speaking, when the set first came out, people were wanting like roughly £50 for it. I looked at it this morning and I was seeing prices pop up there for about £35. So the price definitely is dropping. And I think that is going to continue for the next week or so. But of course, if you have got £200 to spend and you've got particular sets that you do want to get that will kind of get you over that threshold, then yeah, knock yourself out. Go out, pay that amount of money for that particular amount of Lego and get yourself a bonus Lego set as well. And with that all in mind, thank you as always for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, then please do give it a thumbs up. You can follow the channel on Instagram and Twitter. And if you happen to be new around here, then why not hop on and subscribe and become a big part of the LBB family. I'll leave you now with some videos that I think you might like.